Hey guys, welcome to the Save Continue podcast. I'm Shanae Howard. This is Tommy Shelby.
Hey.
This is Ryan Robinson.
What up, what up?
Every week we get together and talk about video games and video game related stuff.
That's right.
Yeah. We'll talk about whatever the fuck we want because we are not FCC regulated. You hear me?
Yeah!
All right.
We don't monetize.
Nope.
We can say all the fucks we want.
All the fucks, man.
We're not designated to a market area. Like, we're good.
Yeah.
Sure.
We talked about race in the last episode.
You know what that is?
Cool.
So what have you guys been playing?
I need to talk about two things. I need to talk about Castlevania.
Hell yeah.
So, like, I bought the Castlevania Anniversary Collection and went through Castlevania 1 for the first time since I was, like, pretty young, you know. Mm-hmm. And, man, that game holds up. Still a lot of fun. And I feel like with a lot of these old games that you grew up playing, it's kind of like riding a bike, you know? Should jump right back in, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that.
Super fun. My son's been trying to play Castlevania, and he's doing pretty well. He's on Grim Reaper's stage, which is the second to last stage of that game. So he's getting there.
He made it a lot farther than I ever made it at his age.
Well, he also has the advantage of save states, which we did not.
Sure.
But he is doing good, though.
Mm-hmm.
I finished watching the Castlevania Netflix series.
How do you feel?
I like it. I still have the same problems with it. I don't think, like, that's never how I imagined Trevor. But, like, at the same time, you know, Castlevania 3 doesn't give you much of, like, you know, how these characters would act.
Right.
Right? Like, there's not a whole lot of story and there's not a whole lot of dialogue. Like, there's some, but very, very little. So it's fine. I like the show. I don't know where they could possibly go next with it because, like, they set it up to where they could go to Curse of Darkness. But would anybody watch a show that stars a character who is, like, made out to be like an idiot in this second season, I guess? You know, I don't know.
I don't know the story to that game.
So Curse of Darkness stars Hector. So the two, I don't know what you want to call them, the two human guys that work for Dracula.
Humans.
Yeah, they're like at odds with each other in Curse of Darkness, and you play as Hector.
Hector's
the one that brings the animals back.
Yeah.
So they kind of set it up for that. I don't know if they would possibly go into that or not. They also, like, leave out very weird things because, like, it's obviously supposed to be Dracula's curse, and, like, Grant's just not there. They just never bring him up. He's never mentioned, you know. But yeah, it's a fun show. I like it. And on that,
I'm
Sandy,
surprised to hear you say that.
I like it. I don't love it, but I like it. Sandy has let me borrow Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night. So I beat Curse of the Moon, love that game. Ritual of the Night, much more like Symphony of the Night, obviously. I like it a lot so far. I'm only about an hour or two in, but so far it's very Igarashi, and that's a good thing.
How do you feel about the visuals in that game? Because I've been hearing people go back and forth about that.
So, like, I wish it was pixelated. You know, I've said that when the game launched when it was first announced, but, like, I understand why it's not. It's very expensive nowadays to do a game in that style. Mm-hmm. I think Symphony of the Night looks better. I think all of Igarashi's Castlevanias look better, but that's not what's really important to me in that style of game, you know? So, other than that, I've been playing a lot of Fighting EX Layer. So, for those that don't know,
Sup?
on PlayStation 1 and in the arcades, and then continued on to PlayStation 2, there was the Street Fighter EX series, which was the first Street Fighter games that were 3D. And they were made by a company named Arika, which was formed by former Capcom employees, specifically employees that worked on Street Fighter 2. So at the time, it was a pretty big deal, you know. And I really loved Street Fighter EX Plus Alpha as a kid. And those characters were so cool to me. And then Capcom dropped it. So, like, all of these original Arika characters who were in the Street Fighter EX series and then in the Fighting Layer game were just, like, no longer canon Street Fighter characters, right? Like, Eagle and like Junie and Julie, like they're still canon Street Fighter characters. No one gives a fuck about them, but they, but like all these other cool characters are still like, nope, they don't count anymore. So Fighting EX Lair was revealed at EVO a few years back, announced to come out on April Fool's Day. So everyone's like, oh, it's an April Fool's joke.
Sure.
And at the time, I think it genuinely was. They built this prototype to learn how to use Unreal. And people responded so well to it that they just made a full-fledged game. And it's super interesting to play because one, like, you've got some nostalgia for those characters that Capcom would never bring back again. But two, it's kind of like looking at what Street Fighter might have become had that company continued to make Street Fighter.
Sure.
And that's really cool. It's got very interesting mechanics. Sadly, nobody's playing it online, at least not in our area. So that kind of sucks. And then if you don't know Rika also made like Tetris the Grandmaster, which is very, very hard Tetris games. They also most recently made Tetris 99.
Okay.
Yeah. Check it out.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do that anymore.
Yeah, well.
R.I.P. Check it out.
Yeah.
I actually went back and watched a few of those.
Yeah. Some of them are fun.
Yeah, some of them were. A lot of Otomis in there.
Yeah. Ikimin Sengoku.
Yeah. 908 views.
Nameless.
The fuck?
The one thing you must not recall.
The one thing you cannot do.
Do not say
the name you want to
name.
touch, but you mustn't touch.
Yeah.
Max Power.
And then there's also, I think I also talked about Amnesia too.
Yeah. Not Dark Descent.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's a different game.
Different Amnesia.
Yeah.
No.
A lot of amnesia in anime.
Yeah. Like people just not remembering where they came from.
Yeah. Anime and soap operas.
Mm-hmm.
Amnesia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like
Which I guess they're kind of the same.
It's a pretty common trope. So to force a lot of in Otomi games to like force a lot of dialogue between you and your love interest.
Sure.
Because they have to explain the world to you because you are a dum-dum. And also,
so amnesia means you're stupid?
Well, you don't know anything about like your life or anything like that. So it also makes it easier for writers because because obviously you want your main character in these Otomi games to be whatever personality for the most part. Like that if someone's like sassy or sweet or whatever.
Sure.
If they have amnesia, you can make them into whatever they are because there's nothing before this.
I just feel like at this point that if I were in a pitch meeting and someone said the word amnesia, I would roll my eyes so far back that I saw my spine.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, is it a good trope? No, but it exists for a reason.
Anyways, that's all I've really been playing is that stuff.
Oh.
And it's a lot of fun. Play them both.
Play them.
I have not really been playing games. Just been, not like to keep going on about it. I just been dealing with a lot of family and wedding drama and stuff like that, and trying to get that all organized because it's happening a lot sooner.
When are you getting married?
November 8th.
Fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta be ready.
Yeah. What day of the week is that?
It's on a Friday night.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to take off work for that.
Yep.
You gonna pay me?
You gonna pay my lost wages, bud?
I'll still get paid. It's fine.
Don't worry about it. I'll show up.
I was like, if you can't make it, you can't make it.
Money's of no object to me.
I feel like you want us to be there because we're so close.
Yeah.
I mean,
I get you, but now you're very laissez-faire about it. It was like, if you can't make it, then if you don't come, then you don't come.
Yeah. Did you make it on a Friday, so it'd be hard for us to come?
Yeah. Sinead, let me
I
ask
never
you
try
this.
to make it hard for anyone to come.
Let me
But
ask you this: if I was getting married,
Are you embarrassed by us?
yeah, that's a good question actually.
I'm sorry. Are you my mother right now? Because that's what I've been fucking dealing with.
Oh, I don't want.
But yeah, no.
Don't talk about Mrs. Howard that way.
Yeah. Sorry, Mrs.
The
H.
Tetris queen.
It
Yeah.
saved me. It saved me a lot of money having it on a Friday.
Are you my
Sure.
mother?
Y'all aren't paying for the wedding. Sorry. I do like recognize that I'm like having a Friday wedding, even though it's a nighttime wedding or a nighttime ceremony.
Post-wedding Sinead.
Well, the nighttime is the right time.
Yeah. So the nighttime reception, you know, it is one of those where we're having the ceremony just like intimate. So the reception's for everybody. So it's not like you have to be there at a certain time to see the ceremony. So
We should have a new weekly segment called Wedding Watch. Wedding Watch 2019.
We need a meter. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, so we're
Countdown to wedding.
We're on code orange.
Definitely orange or yellow right now.
Yeah.
But
well, we haven't established what those colors mean yet, Sinead, so don't jump the gun.
Yeah.
I'm establishing them right now. I'm almost code indigo, but not quite there.
Sure.
Yeah, smoking Indo.
But I was going through all of my drawers because I've been.
You're like your underpants?
Yes.
No, that's draws.
Oh, right.
Well, I've just been looking at different things that I can sell.
Don't sell your underpants.
I definitely have looked into the market. It's oversaturated. Not gonna join it.
Gross.
Yeah. We're off to a good start.
I thought that oversaturation joke was good, but whatever.
Oh, I got you. Sure. Took me a minute.
It went over my head.
People pay more for used underwear
Yeah. Saturated, you see?
with the musk.
Yeah. Yeah.
That vagina musk.
Oh, man.
Anyways, so I was looking at different things I'm gonna sell. One of those being like my Star Wars 360 and probably a good
Don't
chunk
sell
of my.
that.
Yeah, what are you doing? Don't sell that.
It's been sitting in my closet for over a year.
One day you're going to be like, man, I really want to play the Maw.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to pull that bitch out.
You know who Twisted Pixel is?
I'm not gonna. It's not. Whatever.
They made the
I can't keep a hold of things
I'd
for the
really
what
like
if.
to play Scott Pilgrim.
versus.
I'd
those
really
Pilgrims.
like to play Gears of War.
Yeah, the
I'd
first
really
one.
like to play. I don't know what else is on Xbox.
Then do you want to just give me
Condemned.
money?
No, I already have one.
No, I'm saying like I keep the Xbox, but you give me the money.
No, I gave Ryan money. I can't give you money too.
Yeah, I needed
Okay.
to pay. That money went toward keeping the lights on this operation. So
Yeah.
So I was going through like a bunch of things that I'm gonna sell, like old games and things like that.
Old games and underwear.
Old games, underwear, Xbox 360, comics, cosplay stuff. Nothing that's gonna like be like a super high value, but every dollar counts.
Sure.
But I realized that we have had Red Dead Redemption 2 at our house
yeah,
and has never been opened.
yeah.
So I that's what I'm playing. Like I didn't like Red Dead Redemption 1, but I did enjoy Grand Theft Auto 5 playing it
How
online.
did you not like that game? What?
I like one better than the new one.
Yeah.
So I'm giving Red Dead Redemption 2 a try and going to try and like it. And if I like it, then maybe I might go back and play Red Dead Redemption 1.
You'll like it. Well, I can't say that.
It's a long game.
Yeah.
A very long
Yeah,
game.
it's just like I haven't played I mean, Kingdom Hearts isn't a Western RPG, but I'm like, I haven't played a Western RPG.
I was
till-
like, Kingdom Hearts isn't a Western. I was like, well, it's got Woody from Toy Story, so that's kind of a Western.
Yeah.
I think the last one I played was Skyrim.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, well, let me play this, and maybe I might turn around on some other Rockstar games, because I did enjoy playing Grand Theft Auto 5 online. I didn't really enjoy playing regular Grand Theft Auto with like not other people.
See, I'm opposite.
Um,
I don't want to play online.
Yeah. You're going to play Red Dead Online, prepare for a lot of tomahawks to the face.
I was planning on not playing Red Dead Redemption online, just playing, just mainly also because I think my gold subscription expired.
Mm.
You got to pay what you owe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try out Red Dead Redemption 2, and I'm gonna like go in with it like with the expectation that I'm going to enjoy this.
Arthur
Yeah.
Morgan is far and away a more compelling character than John Marston.
But not nearly as cool.
Yeah.
Is John Marston the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. There's just like it seems like there's like a lot of like variety of things to do, and I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could say that, but the first one, it just couldn't connect with me. I also just went into it. I'm like, it's a Rockstar game, so let's see how good this is, like, or how much I enjoy it. Like, the games are good, like, objectively, some of them are great.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, they never clicked with me, and I'm just like, and I went into the first one expecting it not to click, and of course it didn't.
I've always enjoyed their smaller experiences more.
Yeah.
As an example,
The Warriors.
Okay.
Bully's my favorite Rockstar game.
Manhunt was really good. I liked Manhunt a lot.
Yeah. So we have the game. I'm gonna finally play that, and next time we get together, I'll be talking about
will have
that.
beaten it. You will be done with it.
That's not gonna happen.
Mm.
And then I haven't been playing, but I've gotten back to my Kingdom Hearts podcast.
Cool.
And just been enjoying that.
The Heartcast.
Heart to heart is what I would call it.
Barracuda.
Well, it's got it
Sounds
memorized. It's a catchphrase of one of the characters.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like, I guess it's just like translation stuff that didn't like really, because it's very awkward when the character says it. He's like, "Oh, my name's Axel. Got it memorized." And like anything, like he says to somebody, he's like, "Got it memorized." And I'm just like, is this one of those like Naruto believe it things? Because Detabayo doesn't really like.
I don't know much about Naruto.
Oh,
I know he's got a little boy named Boruto.
He does. Actually, that new series is really good. I should go back and watch that.
And Boruto sounds very boring. So, boring toe.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. So from like Naruto is just like
Burrito.
regular.
I like burritos.
Yeah.
Naruto's like regular ninja stuff, but Boruto.
Regular ninja stuff? Is
Scroll-
Naruto regular ninja stuff? I don't know about
Scroll, Shuriken, powers.
that. The
mythical
ninjas in
beasts.
Pee-wee, that's regular ninja stuff, all right?
How many wailing guitar solos are in Naruto? Because you can't have ninjas without the guitar.
I don't know if that's fact. I think
Okay.
you can have ninjas without guitars.
Sure.
Because there's guitars
Ricky
in
Marty.
Mad Max and there's no ninjas in there.
Oh, sure.
But Boruto's really good because, and it's like a lot different than the Naruto series because like technology has been introduced.
Sure.
And then they're more of like a civilization and stuff like that. They have, it's gonna sound really boring, but they have like actual like mail systems. They have like community centers. They have like an actual, like it's not just like a village. It feels like a city.
Well, look, I know when I watch anime, I look for animes with mail.
At community centers.
Speaking of anime, Kill la Kill If. Really fun.
Yeah.
Really fun.
Kill la Kill If, is that just a Kill la Kill game?
It's a Kill la Kill fighting game that came out like yesterday.
Oh,
It's an
okay.
arena fighter, so like Budokai style, which I don't typically like, but this one's fun.
Kill la Kill is pretty fun. We were just talking about it before the show, like sexualization, is it good or not sort of thing.
Yeah, we're for it here on the Save Continue broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
For it, but the community can be very toxic in those games and shows and stuff.
Yeah.
But even with it being super sexualized, I did love Kill la Kill.
Yeah, it's cool.
What have you been playing, Ryan?
Oh, I'm glad that you asked. Along with the usual battery of Mortal Kombat and Samurai Showdown, of which I am both garbage at. Well, actually, no. I'm on a winning streak on Samurai Showdown right now, so I'm really, really good about that.
Are you just playing your girlfriend or?
No, actually, idiot.
Don't call me an idiot.
No, I've been playing online.
Well, you know what's cool? Real quick, Ryan and myself and Sandy, we played together last week.
Yeah.
And
yeah, and
Samurai Showdown was interesting because there was kind of a rock, paper, scissors dynamic in which Sandy was beating me, Ryan was beating him, and I was beating Ryan.
I beat Tom.
And did you?
Yeah.
I don't know that ever happened,
it
but
did.
okay.
I have the tapes. You know you can record stuff on PlayStation 4, right?
Sure.
So I have tapes.
Are you gonna roll them back?
Yeah.
You got to peel it back.
I'll peel those tapes back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after last week and actually sitting down and playing at Sandy and everything, I gotta say, Sandy, I'm sorry for what I said about you being bad at fighting games before, because it just turns out that it was true, and I thought it was just a joke when I said that. So
Yeah.
no, it was fun. We played Samurai Showdown. We played a little Injustice. I wanted you to see Turtles.
Yeah.
Um,
Turns out you can choose what turtle you want, by the way.
That's what I
Yeah.
figured. That's what I heard, like something with like in the armor stuff. So that's neat. But no, I've been playing
Do all of them do the head duck thing?
I don't know about that. I imagine they would. It's I don't know. For some reason, when I saw that, it was just like the funniest thing in the world to me when I saw
No,
it.
it is funny.
It would just make me think of the first movie.
I love being a turtle.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I've been playing a lot of both of those games. But I've also, as I mentioned, I think before, my girlfriend and I have been playing Final Fantasy 14 a lot. I'm having a lot of fun with that. It's mostly like having fun, like going through like the story and through the dungeons with her. It's really cool.
Yeah.
But I've also I posted about it on our Facebook. I've been playing this game called Kill Squad.
I don't know what that is.
So, and I will tell you, Thomas, it's a 4-player cooperative hack and slash game, where you so imagine it's like Diablo, except like if Diablo, like every time you actually went and like killed monsters in Diablo, it was like a separate level or mission or whatever.
Okay.
Now there is some kind of persistent progression in the game, like in terms of like the character's weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could upgrade the weapon and stuff, but like as far as like abilities and upgrading the abilities, it's taken instead a more of a kind of a MOBA approach to that stuff, where you level that stuff up during the course of the mission, like with experience and stuff that you get.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you go to the next mission, it all resets to 0, and then you just kind of do it again.
That's interesting.
So there are 4 different characters. I figured out that one is a tank and one is a healer. I haven't really figured out the others.
Yeah.
But it's still in early access right now.
What are you playing this on?
Computer.
Okay.
I think that they had mentioned plans to bring it to console, but I'm not certain on that. But it's so far it's a pretty neat little game. It's very good looking. The only thing about it is the game doesn't have a lot of it doesn't signpost very well like different mechanics of the game or like how different things work.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times and I imagine that over the course of development, like this will change over time. Like maybe they'll add like tutorial messages or whatever. But
Sure.
a lot of the game is like you kind of just figure it out as you're playing it. It does tell you what each of the abilities does and stuff like that, but it kind of doesn't tell you like how other mechanics work and and how teamwork really works in that game is in a way that like between like the synergies of different character abilities and stuff like that. But other than that, it's a pretty fun game. I haven't put a ton of time into it, but I want to put a little bit more time to it. But
That's cool.
one of the guys looks like astronaut Jason Voorhees, and I'm like really into that. So he's like the only guy that I've been playing as.
It's funny that to refer to him as an astronaut.
Well, because he's got the the astronaut suit on. He's wearing like an astronaut suit, and like the helmet's cracked open.
I know what.
And he's also got the Jason Voorhees mask.
There are 2 things that I want to bring up before we get into the meat and potatoes.
Okay.
That I think are pretty cool. One, Maximilian Dude has been tweeting out trying to get Microsoft to greenlight another Killer Instinct game.
Right.
And I think it's pretty neat. It's the first time I've seen a fighting game related hashtag be number 5.
Sure.
Which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
2, Matt Piscatella posted NPDs. Couple of interesting things. One, Super Mario Maker is number 1 last month, not counting digital sales at all.
Right.
Which Switch sells a lot digitally.
Right.
So that game's probably selling incredibly well. And 2, what's the best-selling game this year so far?
So far?
Mm-hmm. All year long, what has been the best? What has sold the most copies so far?
Kingdom Hearts 3.
No, but close. Kingdom Hearts 3 is actually selling quite well.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 11, which it's interesting because like fighting games are never the highest selling game.
Tink tink.
So I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah.
That's it.
I also just kind of wanted to put this out there too. So I recently got a Firestick.
Cool.
That's all. No. I didn't know that there was games that you could play on the Firestick.
Are any of them Mortal Kombat 11?
No, they're not. I just I didn't know. I just didn't know that this was a thing out there. I've never owned one. I've never really been around. Like, I mean, if I am around somebody who has one, normally we're like using it to stream like videos or something like that, or like watch Netflix or Hulu or something like that. So I never like fucked around with
Hulu
one.
at my house.
I can do illegal things to that for you.
Would you like him to do that?
You can play a whole bunch of games.
Illegally. Hey, remember, Sinead, we're not FCC regulated, so he can say whatever he wants.
No, I brought it. I brought it home, and because I got it for free, and I brought it home. It's the Firestick 4K Ultra or whatever, and that was immediately Berto's thing. Is like, oh, let's jailbreak it.
Yeah.
And we have somebody that I'm not going to call him out in particular, but we have somebody in our life that like does that. And the last ones he did it to have all bricked and stopped working. So maybe
yours will be the good one.
And I know that's who he was thinking about when he said it. And I was just like, I mean, I know how to do like the Cody thing on there and everything, but
Hacker man over here.
I just was looking stuff up and it was like a guide that was on there and it's pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
And I just want to hang out with it. Not broken for a while, and if I eventually get bored with how the Firestick acts, then I'll probably jailbreak it and do stuff to it. But at the moment, I'm fine with how it is. Thank you for your offer, but no, your pitch has been denied.
Is that funny to you?
Yes. It was fun. It was good to say. I see why you made up this game.
It's not really a game.
I mean, it's a lot of money goes into making video games, shouldn't it?
It's more of a segment.
Sure.
I like making segments.
Also, I played a match in Mortal Kombat 11 the other day, and the lag was so bad that the match ended. But I had more health when it happened. I'm going to call that a win for me.
All right.
Did the game say you won?
It said ending the match, but I had more health at the time.
Yeah.
You understand?
Sure.
So.
So this week I wanted to just kind of talk about what makes you want to buy a video game. What like reels you in? Like when you see a game, what makes you think, "Oh, I'm gonna play this"?
This has evolved for me greatly over time. When I was a child, it was either magazines or seeing the fucking box at the store. You know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of games I bought based on the box when I was a kid. Some of them were really good. Some of them were real bad. But like Tenchu, I bought Tenchu just because I saw the box.
I mean, it's got fucking ninjas on it.
Yeah, and that worked out well. But like now, I feel like it's what makes me consume any sort of entertainment product. It's typically like who wrote it, who directed it, who like what band is it, right? Like so with games, it's like who's the director? Don't get me wrong, I buy a lot of games outside of that, but like there are like 3 or 4 directors where if they make a game, I'm gonna buy that game. You know.
Yeah. I'm not as like well versed in directors as like you guys and like names of developers.
Yeah.
But graphics don't matter, as in like something can have like poor graphics and I can still super enjoy it. But I guess it's the consistency of it. And if like the graphics are bad, obviously it needs like some sort of other thing to hook me.
Mm-hmm.
But normally, like if it's like a very Square Enix aesthetic, I'm going to be interested in it.
Sure. And like visuals can sell me on a game. They have recently, right? Like I bought Bound because I think as far as animation goes, that's one of the best examples of modern animation. I still believe that. I think Bound is a bad game.
It's a terrible game.
But I bought it for that.
Yeah, whether it turns out to be a bad game or not, but if it like is very Final Fantasy,
yeah,
I am so interested. If I see Square on the box, I am going to give it a second look.
Well, you didn't buy Hitman.
I didn't.
You didn't buy Kane and Lynch 2.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Which is a great game that I stand by.
Whether I buy it or not, but at least like having Square on the box will make me give it a second look.
Sure.
And
I used to be that way too.
Like third birthday.
Well, to be fair, what like like the
They're
kind of
very
game that
difficult.
has Square Enix on the box isn't necessarily always going to be the same kind of game.
Yeah.
So
Well, right, because they're publishing.
Yeah.
But like, I guess that's what I'm getting at. Is like, it used to be. I used to be the same way, right? If it said Capcom, sure, I'm gonna buy that bitch, right? But like now, as these companies are branching out more and doing more with what they publish, and companies that used to only develop now also publish, that means less and less to me. And even like companies that have been proven success stories, right? Like Machine Games. I mean, people have liked their games for quite some time now, and like the new Wolfenstein, people don't seem to care for, like so.
so good though.
Youngblood,
I haven't played that one.
yeah, people don't seem to care for it. So like, I think like a company name means less to me now than like a person's name,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that eventually I will, like when I become more knowledgeable, that will probably be a very similar case for me.
Yeah.
I guess I shouldn't be using the words of graphic. I should just be using words like aesthetic. Like if it's a very
That's graphics, right? That's still graphics.
well, if it's a very consistent theme,
Yeah.
like where it's not like jarring or something looks out of place.
Well, I think graphics refers more to quality, whereas aesthetics refers more to style.
Yep.
But if you take the literal definition of the term graphics, that is not the case,
Sure,
know.
but that's not the context of where she's using it.
Sure.
Yeah, because I mean, like Borderlands, when I first saw it in a magazine, I was like, oh shit, that looks really fucking cool. I don't really see a lot of games like that.
Yeah.
I want to know more about it. And
Yeah.
You should play 13.
It's coming back.
Yeah. David Duchovny.
another thing that normally
That game
And then-
has like game breaking conditions. Like there are points in which you cannot beat that game if you make the wrong mistakes.
In the spirit,
So that's fun.
in the spirit of authenticity, I hope they leave those in place.
I don't see any way around it, honestly.
Good.
also with Atomy games, definitely aesthetic, but even if aesthetic's good, the translation and everything could be garbage.
Yeah.
So definitely company names on those, like
Right.
because most of the time with those, if they're publishing it, they're also developing it for the most part.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
So those are like company names on that one for sure. I'm trying to think of like what else has like hooked me. I guess also just seeing someone else play it and be good at it. That normally will also hook me on something where like I'm interested because I see someone else being good at it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I could be good.
Yeah. As far as more recent stuff, I think like things that I have not seen done before will oftentimes intrigue me, whether that's something I'm super into or not. I feel like for a long time now, for over 10 years now, video games have kind of been stuck in a rut. I still love them, but there's not a whole lot of new mechanics and ideas coming out. There's this company, I always forget their name, small little company. They released 3 games. One was Bot Vice.
I know who you're talking about.
One was like this shoot 'em up game, right?
Yeah.
But it's a shoot 'em up mixed with like a vertical puzzle game. And I was like, I've never seen this before. I want this game, and that was really fun. So like original ideas can definitely sell me, even if they are not executed well. I just feel like it's rare that happens nowadays.
Yeah, and if I'm looking for more of what I've like, if say I just like finish. I mean, I have been playing like more like smaller games. So if I see a game that, say, if for example, it said it was like Old Man's Journey, because I really like that one, I would probably look at that game more and like maybe not necessarily buy it, but at least would like hook me in. We've complained in the past like saying things are some like hard like Dark Souls or whatever,
Right.
and using that comparison can be, but it does like give like if it just says like it's hard like something that doesn't give me it, but if it's like it's like similar to Old Man's Journey, if it has like the tagline, or if someone tells me that a game is similar to something I've already played, I definitely am more interested in like looking into it. So it's kind of also like what hooks me is things that I already like.
Oh yeah, obviously, right? If it's more of the same, for sure. I mean, that's why I wanted to play Bloodstained, right? It's more of the same. But like, one thing that definitely sells me on games that I never really thought about is games that are built with hardware in mind. So like Trauma Center, right? Like, it worked because of the DS or because of the Wii, you know? And that was always really cool to me. Same thing like Typing of the Dead. It works because you're using a keyboard, you know? I like that a lot. Taiko no Tetsujin, like stuff like that, DJ Hero. I always want more crap, and I don't know why that is, but I do.
No, I can feel that. Because there was definitely like a lot of Wii RPGs that really like that actually lent itself well to that controller scheme that would not work on any other console.
I mean, even pre-existing stuff, right? Like a lot of people, myself included, think that Resident Evil 4 is best played on the Wii, you know? Yep.
Yeah. They can't dodge you when you aim at them.
What reels you in, Ryan? What makes you like double glance?
So, like Tom, like that has changed for me over time. I remember a lot of the games that I came into possession of as a kid were because of the fact that I had friends who had the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I like and that has worked out for better or for worse for me. Like on one hand, I came into possession of my own copy of River City Ransom because my cousin had the game, right? On the other hand, I came into possession of Fighting Force 2 because my friend had that game. One of those is good, one of those is really terrible, so it just kind of, can work out either way. So, but that was because I kind of wanted to have stuff that my friends had. So that was part of it for me at some point. Then of course, nowadays, I think when you first posed this question, I was thinking about, one thing that'll really get me to try a game out is a good old flash sale.
Yeah.
That will definitely like pique my interest because like I wasn't really that interested in this game at $39.99. But I'm pretty interested.
$2.
I'm pretty interested in that game. Well, now that it's $3.99.
Yeah, for sure.
Now another thing that has kind of because I'm very, very prone to choice paralysis a lot of the time, and the fact of the matter is I have a finite amount of money, like most people. So that
it sucks.
That makes the choice even more daunting sometimes. But I have my Humble monthly subscription, and that gives me a bunch of games at once.
Yeah.
So that I can kind of be like, well, I didn't have to choose between any of these games. And granted, there are months where I'm like, I wouldn't play any of these games, but I have them now, and I can try them. But a lot of the time, it'll be one of the things that really gets me is not just conversation about the game, but the kind of conversation about the game if people will talk about like, especially when it comes to like making, like if it's a game that has a lot of decision making in it, and the way that people talk about like how they're compelled to make those decisions, or the way that people talk about how different mechanics worked out for them.
Yeah.
That really, like, I'm just like, wow, this game sounds really cool, just because I feed off other people's excitement a lot, and I think that has drawn me to make a lot of different kinds of purchases. Like, I think the first XCOM, do I say modern XCOM?
Yeah, that sounds the revival, sure.
Okay. So the first modern XCOM, I was drawn to that game because of the way people talked about it, and the way that people talked about the idea of it's one of those games that gives you consequences to your actions or the decisions that you make. Like, the wrong decision can cost you this guy that you really fond of, like this really high level sniper or whatever that you have, like that could cost them that. And then I remember I didn't want to play Darkest Dungeon until you talked about it, and then I was just like, well, that game sounds pretty cool. That game sounds really neat. Just because of like.
And then by the time you played it, it was a completely different game than I played.
Yeah, because and it's just, but like that kind of like hearing people be excited about something and that can really get me interested in the game. But like, the biggest deciding factor a lot of the time is not the biggest one, but like a huge one is like how much am I going to pay for this game. Now there are some games where like I will drop money on it, and that's just based on like excitement that I have for the franchise as a whole.
Any Doom.
Yeah.
I like how you almost disagreed for a second.
Well, because the original version of what Doom 4 was going to be popped into my mind just then, and I was like, I would not buy that game, but
I would have.
You would have.
Maybe not initially, but maybe eventually I would have gotten around to it. But,
I like Call of Duty.
But at the same time, you know, like I immediately bought Monster Hunter, right? And I immediately bought, you know, Doom 2016, like day one. Like I paid full price for those games, and that just my attachment to those things helps drive me.
There's certain things like going back to like the developer director type thing, right? Like buying because of a name that's attached to it. Like Supergiant Games, I really loved Bastion. I really loved Transistor. Pyre, I'm like, I don't know that I want to play that. Same thing with Hades, you know? So I haven't. But then like Vanillaware is putting out 13 Sentinels. And like when I look at it, it doesn't look like something I would enjoy. But I'm like, they've never let me down.
Sure.
I have to buy it. Sure. You know? I don't know.
Yeah, like I also think it's because each platform, obviously, that you play on, like Steam versus Switch versus like Xbox versus like PS4, they all obviously like show off their games in a catalog or a library that you can buy from, but they do it all like somewhat differently. And having a section that's like games similar to this definitely will make me look at games more if I have some sort of basis from it.
Yeah.
But I feel like all of those platforms are curated so poorly as far as their storefronts go.
I mean, yeah, they all have flaws. I don't know if I would say every single one is poorly.
Because with Steam, like that, like from what I can understand, is it determines what games are similar by what tags people have put on it.
Yeah.
Right.
So like those tags aren't always accurate.
Right.
Yep.
They are often not accurate, and so like you're gonna get this game is similar to this because these two tags are on it, and that's not necessarily the case.
Right. Switch,
Yeah,
other
I'd say,
than
like,
like a few different categories, for the most part, Switch is one list, and it's fucking miserable to look through.
Yes, because
Xbox, like I just can't get myself around the Xbox in any way. I can't do anything on that thing.
Yeah, it's laggy as hell.
And then PlayStation's like, I typically try to look at the genres tab for PlayStation.
Yeah.
And like, there are games that are not the genre that they're under.
Sure.
There are games that are in that genre that are not there.
Yeah.
You know?
Same with Switch.
Yeah, it's just
sure.
It's not good.
Yeah. I'll definitely like I say there's definitely flaws in all of them, but having something where at least
it's a baseline to start with.
Yeah. Or I was gonna say like at least having a similar to section is always super helpful.
Well, now like my decision, because I buy a lot of fighting games now, and like a big part of my decision, and like I'll usually defer to Tom because because I'm usually buying games that he already has, and like one of my main questions, like because I look at the game and I decide this seems like it's cool.
Yeah.
What makes you like when you look at that? What makes it seem like it's cool?
Well, like a lot of it just seems like.
Do you need to like see a video of gameplay?
Typically I'll need to see like if it's really fast, or if it has like a lot of if it has cool looking characters, stuff like that. But my biggest thing is because I was gonna go with I was getting ready to pull the trigger on Guilty Gear, and like my one question for Tom was like, does this have an online presence? That's like a huge That's a huge part of my decision of whether or not I'm going to buy it. Because again, that goes back to whether or not I can play these games with other people, because me and my friends all being adults, like our schedules don't always line up, so I can't just link up with my friends. So if I can at least play with strangers on a consistent basis, then that's good. Which is why Tom's got a lot of games. Tom has some fighting games that I would absolutely buy like right now if I thought that I could play them online consistently. But like I can't, so I won't. So that's a huge part of it for me.
Yeah. Always, like, for me, it's always like the first splash screen or whatever they put to just, like, when you look at like the whatever storefront and see the game.
Yeah.
Then I go read the description, and then I see if there's a video.
Yeah.
And a lot of time, so like normally it's just like the first picture they have, and then the description needs to make me want to watch a video.
Well, for some reason, I don't know why it is, but like on the PlayStation Store, all of those videos are super compressed.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of them.
Yeah.
Like the Switch doesn't have that problem, but PS4 does, you know? So that's annoying. I don't watch any of those videos.
Yeah. And a lot of the time, so instead of watching those videos, if I see a game that has interested me, then I'll usually go to YouTube and type Blake gameplay and see what the game is like based on that. I don't know. But again, it's hard because like I have a limited amount of money that I can spend on video games. So even like a lot of things can still like line up. Like it could look great. I could see great reviews. I could hear great conversation about it. It could be a pretty good price, but I'll still hesitate because like I was like, there's a level of permanence to it that is kind of in some ways off-putting to me, because like I can't just like there's consequence. Like there's like I'm buying into this, so it still can be difficult even if all the other things line up.
I think like I'm not super careful with my extra money. I roll the dice a lot on stuff like that. Yeah. So I buy a lot of games, a lot of games, you know. It can be just the smallest thing and I'll pick it up, you know.
Yeah.
But
also lately I don't know where this comes from, because this is never like I can't recall a time in my life previously when this is something that I gave a shit about. But for some reason, like I said, I think I said this a few episodes ago, like the two kinds of games that I want to play right now are fighting games and fishing games.
Yeah.
And like the tragedy of fishing games, I think, is that a lot of the time, if I see that it's a fishing game, then I'll be like, oh, let's see what's going on with that. Let's see what's going on with that, right? And I'll take a look at it and I'll see if I want to buy it. But the thing about it is I've purchased maybe I think 3 or 4 fishing games at this point, and in none of those games was the fishing in those games as good as fishing as a side activity in other games.
Do you feel like that's because it's usually simplified in these other games?
So there are things that I look for in a fishing game. It's very like these very simple things.
Yeah.
One is like in these other games.
How big is the catch?
Well, there's a lot of one of the things I like with fishing games, with fishing and other like as a side activity in games. One of the things I like is I like the idea of like the back and forth between the fish. Between me and the fish, like battling that. And some believe it or not, some fishing games don't have that. And then there's the whole. Then there's this is dumb, and I feel dumb even saying it, but there's the aspect of when you catch the fish, like when you know the way that you know that you caught the fish is they show the fish like coming out of the water like a dramatic camera angle.
Oh, you get that satisfying.
Yeah,
like
I need
reel
that.
in.
And the funny thing about it is the dedicated fishing games that I've bought don't have that. Like once you catch the fish, it fades to black for a second, and then the fish is in your hand.
Yeah,
and that's just like the weirdest thing to me. It's a very nitpicky thing, because the core experience is there, right? Like the actual fishing and the saving the bait. Like,
it's just not as satisfying.
I don't know. I guess I'm more of a visual person than I thought I was, but so a lot of times when I make a decision on whether or not I'm going to buy a fishing game, like one of the things that I'm looking for, like I'll look up videos of that game, and I'll try to figure out like, does it have that in there?
Yeah.
And like, because the game could be gorgeous, like all the other mechanics can be in place, but if I watch a gameplay of the game and the person catches the fish and it fades to black for a second and then the fish is in their hand, like for some reason I'm just like,
Yeah.
and then I put my pocketbook away because
Sure.
I'm suddenly not interested anymore.
Though with you saying fishing and fighting,
Fish combine the two. One of the game, Tom has a game that combines the two. He's got the guy with the is it Last Blade 2? With the fisherman guy?
You can
Oh yeah.
as the
Well, in Guilty Gear, Rev 2 has fishing.
Animal Crossing person, they have a little fishing line in Smash Brothers. 2020, I think I'm just every 2 weeks I'm gonna do a different letter of the alphabet.
Sure.
I mean, there's 26 letters, 52 weeks in a year.
Right.
Come on, yeah, the math is there. It checks out.
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Like-
what are you talking about?
No, like for 2 weeks, play like games that start with A and then B, C, go through.
Okay.
I'll have more disposable income because I'll already be married.
Is that what marriage is to you?
Yeah, it means more tax benefits. I don't have to pay for a wedding anymore because it already happened. More money, more video games.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's what marriage means to me. More
Sure.
video games.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's. I also think I enjoy like the act of buying video games a lot. Like I still enjoy like acquiring video games.
I mean, we have done an episode on your backlog, so yes, that is
Sure.
very apt.
You know, I think that's a big thing for me. And I was talking last night about how at one point I used to like every payday I would go to GameStop to buy a game. I didn't have a game in mind. I'd just go to buy one, and I would feel weird if I left without one. Now I'm of a different mindset because it's
You're mature.
yeah I've matured a bit, but that used to be a thing. Like I love the idea of buying video games.
Yeah.
And I still do. But it's more like I've become a lot more selective with that stuff. So
Cool.
I think video games should all be free for me. So I
Just
don't
for you, right?
so I don't have to make the decision anymore. But
I would say like make him free for Tommy, but he's probably one of the niche people buying a lot of these games.
That's true.
So they kind of need that money.
Ryan showed me some app one time that like tallies the retail value of your Steam library.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And mine was just disgusting to look
It was just
at.
like he got really upset when when he saw
Mine
it.
was just
Like,
thousands and
it's funny 'cause,
thousands
like,
and
when he
thousands of
saw it,
dollars.
there
give me a roundabout number.
It was a lot.
I mean, yeah, it was.
Was it more than 5,000?
It was to the point.
It was 5 digits.
It was to the point.
Was
where
it more than?
when he
wait,
s-
5
when-
digits.
When he
so,
saw it, there was an immediate change in his mood.
Yeah.
so is it more than 15,000?
No, I don't think so. But like, I could have bought a cheap car for that money. But like, to be fair, it's showing you the MSRP price, right? Whereas
Yeah.
most of these games I get on
You have-
sale.
Yeah, and it's also
or
it's also,
and bundles are free.
It's,
Right.
it's counting every game that's in your library.
Right.
So even if you got as a gift, it's putting in
Mhm.
that tally. So
Right.
um
But it was still alarming.
yeah.
Anyways, Ryder Strong in the Temple of Osiris today. We're going to do the character Norm Peterson, one George Wendt from my favorite sitcom, Cheers.
Okay.
Shanae's first.
All right.
Have you ever watched Cheers before, Shanae?
In passing,
Okay.
and
It's about people.
It is.
yeah, isn't it like a bar where everyone knows your name?
Well, sure. That's in the song.
Okay.
I had a Cheers marathon with Tom once. We watched a lot of Cheers.
So what's the guy's name?
Norm Peterson.
And
I guess that was my first question. Shit.
Okay.
Uh,
I'll give you a free one. He's an accountant.
what's his personality? Or what is his relation in the show to everybody? He just goes to the bar with everybody else?
He's a regular at the bar. He drinks probably the heaviest of anybody on the show.
Okay.
He's close friends with Cliff, who is a postman who's quite annoying. He's got a wife named Vera who you never see.
So you don't know if she's hot or not?
No. I think there's a Thanksgiving episode where you see her from the back and she is large.
Mm.
I feel like that was more than 2 questions, actually.
It was.
You gave her a free one, though.
Yeah.
All right.
Takes place in Boston. That might help. I don't know. Does that help? Boston?
You got to go down the chairs, dude. It's wicked. They say wicked a lot in Boston.
So it's going. All right, this one's
You ever
not.
seen that movie,
This
The
is not going to be a
Town, starring
Sabrina the
Ben
Teenage
Affleck?
Witch game.
All you have to worry about, Shanae, is that he's a middle-aged accountant with a drinking problem, right? That can lead to many things.
He's also not fond of the gays. Put that in there if you want. Do what you will with that information.
So it's going to be a pretty like casual, simple slice of life game.
Okay.
Where his drinking problem has just led to why are all my games redemption?
Because you're about to play that Red Dead Redemption 2.
Maybe.
Partner.
So he's hit a point where he realizes he has a problem with his drinking. He enjoys a community of cheers, but he thinks that has really led to why he doesn't hang out with his wife. He's okay with his job. He's okay with where he is monetarily at this point, but he's just really unhappy with a lot of things, and then he realizes that's where it does. So you start the game at the bar, like your happiness meter is just down. So it's going to be one of those like how long can you last games, like almost like a survival game.
Okay.
But there's going to be meters for like food, happiness, marital status, and friends. And so you're going to have to keep seeing how long you can go until, I guess, he's an old man. There has to be some sort of ending at some point. But it's going to be kind of hard to do. But it's going to be like day by day basis where you are just trying to make him a happy, healthy, functioning human being with a good sense of community and a great relationship with his wife and get that drinking problem under control.
So I'm feeling like a Sims situation, but only Norm Peterson.
Your main character is Norm Peterson, yes.
Okay.
So it is for the people who enjoy Cheers, sad that it's no longer in the air, and Norm is their favorite character. They can play as him going forward from the show.
That's me. So unfortunately, you got a couple of things wrong. Not your fault because you've never seen Cheers. We're going to have to turn it down, though. I like where your head's at, though. What
did I get wrong?
Well, like you talked about how like he's good with work and he's good with money and like he hates his job all the time and he's always broke and like
He's always at the bar.
Yeah.
All right.
Eventually starts like painting houses and shit. He's like, fuck this.
Well, I'd
accounting,
say like for the
you
show
know.
afterwards. I mean, he's good with this. He's having this job because he's painting houses.
Well,
obviously,
he got an acting gig in a movie called Monkey Up.
Unrelated.
All right, that's my game. Slice of life. Survival.
I do like it. Ren?
Mine's actually pretty simple, actually. Tom, you of course remember the episode where they were all meant to go skydiving,
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
and Norm and Cliff, they infamously wimped out.
Yeah.
As everyone knows.
Well, Cheers
Sure.
viewers are aware of this. It's very simple. This game takes place in a world where not only did they not chicken out, but that
Did they die and are they ghosts?
they did the jump. They did the jump, and now they're addicted to skydiving. And
Cliff too, huh?
Yeah, both of them. They did the jump together.
Okay.
Now they're addicted to
Wait, were they strapped to each other?
That is immaterial.
Okay.
Are we talking like a pilot wing situation here?
The
Or?
whole game is the skydiving section from Pilot Wings.
Okay. Well, I like that you pulled from the source material at least.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't know, man. The last Pilot Wings was Resort and like.
No, I'm talking about the Super Nintendo one. You got 16-bit Norm and Cliff
Yeah.
jumping out of the plane.
Yeah. We're going to have to really hard turn this one down.
Fair enough.
I don't think you really. Well, I don't know. I can't say you didn't try. You pulled from an episode. That's more than we can say for today.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like I could have gone really complex and convoluted with it.
Sure.
I didn't want to do that.
Sure. Bless you.
The other idea, I had, and this isn't
I
counting
get
my
one
pitch.
pitch.
I just wanted you to know that this was in my head. So I was also thinking about a sort of. I was also thinking about Mike Bithel's games as of late.
Mm-hmm.
What has he been calling those things?
Bithel Shorts, I think.
Bithel Shorts. So I was gonna it was gonna be a Bithel Shorts game.
Yeah.
And not obviously not him, but like it was also going to be the same episode. I don't know why. I had that episode in my head. Every time you talk about Cheers, like that episode pops in my head. But the entire game takes place in the plane, and they're just talking.
Interesting. That's interesting. That's neat.
And they're just talking about life and beers, and then whether or not they jump is left ambiguous at the end.
Sure. That's really funny, actually. Oh man. Yeah. I'm surprised like nobody pulled in like Frasier or anything like that.
No, because I want to focus on Norman and Cliff because I feel like they're people.
That's the dynamic duo.
Yeah.
So thinking back to the last game where you made alternate dimension, Sabrina being Clarissa.
Yeah.
So, y'all obviously don't know this, but every witch has a twin, and one of you is evil.
Of course.
You mentioned that before.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I just said that Sabrina did. I didn't mention that every single witch out there has an evil twin.
But Norman Peterson's not a witch.
No. I'm saying from the last game. I was just thinking. So would Clarissa's evil twin be Melissa?
Who's Melissa?
No, because Clarissa's not a witch.
Melissa Joan Hart?
Oh yeah, she's a teenage
she's
genius.
She's a teenage genius. I said that. I
You're
covered
right.
that in the pitch, Sinead.
You're right. You did.
We're never talking about Sabrina again on the show, by the way.
Yeah.
So get it out of your system now, Sinead. You knew a show. Big whoop.
You watched TV once. Okay. You were home on a Friday night as a child.
So,
all right.
The way the concept of golems on Sabrina the Teenage Witch was brought about was because she needed a date, and they made a man out of clay so she could have a date.
So like you're telling me that she couldn't find a date?
What about that Harvey guy that you mentioned?
Yeah,
He was going with another girl. There was a whole big dramatic thing.
Was
Harvey Kinkle.
Was Harvey's date named Rachel?
Yeah. One is the Kinkle, two in the Pinkle.
So that's our show this week. We're obviously on YouTube, most podcast apps. We're
on all of them.
We have social medias.
Most of them.
As far as they can tell, we're on all of them.
Yeah, find one that we're not on, actually.
Yeah.
Let us know. Write into them. Tell them we should be on there.
You drop us a line on our social medias and let us know.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Later.
Bye.